From the broadcasting headquarters of the ERi-TV studio in Asmara, good evening. It's 10:30 p.m. Thursday, May 12th. This is your reporter Miriam Johannes live with your daily updates. Before proceeding to the details of the news, first is a rundown of the major stories for this English news segment. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. Meeting of PFDJ organizations in Germany. North Korea fires ballistic missiles after confirming first COVID cases. Nearly 10 million children going hungry in Afghanistan, says NGO. On to the details of the local news. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 4 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at testing stations in the central region. Accordingly, the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has risen to 9,744. The total number of recovered patients stands at 9,632, while the number of deaths stands at 103. Ministry of Health, Asmara, May 12, 2022. PFDJ organizations in Germany organized a discussion forum on the 7th and 8th of May in the city of Mannheim focusing on national affairs. At the meeting, in which representatives from various cities of Germany took part, Mr. Johannes Waldo, chargé d'affaires at the Eritrean embassy in Germany, said that the discussion forum, in which a number of representatives physically took part, will have a significant contribution to the implementation of national programs in general and that of resistance activities in particular. Mr. Kahsai Tawalde, head of public and community affairs, on his part, presented a report focusing on the political, organizational, economic, and social activities of the PFDJ organizations in Germany and Europe, as well as the contribution of nationals towards the National Fund, the combat the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, and future programs. At the seminar conducted on politics and political competence, Mr. Kibra Abtaghasta, Consul General of Eritrea in Frankfurt, indicated that without political competence, economic and social developments could not be realized and called for exerting strong effort in that regard. At the meeting, concise report on the 16th YPFDJ conference that was held in April in Rome, Italy, was presented. The participants also conducted extensive discussions on the reports presented and adopted various recommendations. International Day of Plant Health, May 12, was observed at the national level at the premises of the Ministry of Agriculture under the theme Protecting Plants, Protecting Life. Speaking at the event, Mr. Taghlab Miskina, General Director of Regulations and Inspection at the Ministry of Agriculture, said that the International Day of Plant Health will have a significant drive in developing the understanding as well as in the abolition of hunger and poverty and in the development of biodiversity. Pointing out that plantations are among the main components for human survival, Mr. Taghlab said that plants develop up to 80% of food for humans and up to 98% of oxygen. However, Mr. Taghlab went on to say that human habitation is harming the life of plants and that up to 40% of food crops are lost due to plant pests and diseases every year, and as a result it is affecting both food security and agriculture. Mr. Taghlab also called for somber measures in controlling pests that are causing plant diseases. Mr. Said Nuruddin, head of Seeds Resource Control, gave a briefing on the activities being exerted to ensure the health of plantations in the country. International Day of Plant Health is being observed for the first time at the international and national levels. The Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare reported that the Eritrean Association of the Deaf and Blind in North America extended material support specifically for people who are visually impaired. The material and equipment support include folding and unfolding canes for the blind, magnifying glasses, as well as technology products that convert digital text or print into synthetic speech and sports materials. Representatives of the branch association from North America handed over the material and equipment to the Director General of Administration and Finance of the Ministry on the 11th of May. Vice Chairman of the association, Mr. ERi-TV, said that the objective of the association is to raise awareness of the society on the disabled nationals and shouldering the responsibility of supporting them by extending capacity level support. Secretary of the association, Ms. Jordanus Abraham, on her part, indicated that they have extended the support with the firm belief that if provided with the right assistive tools, nationals with visual disabilities can be a productive part of the society, and commended nationals residing in North America for their contribution. Finally, representatives of the Eritrean Association of the Deaf and Blind in North America visited the artificial limbs manufacturing plant in Adugwadat. We'll be back with international news in a few. Stay tuned. Welcome back. North Korea has fired 3 short-range ballistic missiles towards the sea off its east coast, according to South Korea's military. The short statement sent to reporters on Thursday came hours after North Korea announced the country's first ever cases of COVID-19 more than 2 years after the start of the pandemic. The suspected launch from the Sunan area of North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, also came 2 days after the inauguration of South Korea's new president, Yoon Suk-yeol, in Seoul. Even though there has been no official statement by North Korea, the office of the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida also confirmed the launch. The launch is likely the nuclear-armed country's 16th weapons test so far this year. North Korea also conducted what South Korea and Japan said were 2 separate ballistic missile tests in the week before Yoon's inauguration, although Pyongyang did not confirm the launches. Despite biting international sanctions over its weapons programs, North Korea has dramatically ramped up testing this year while ignoring the United States' offers of talks. Save the Children has said about 9.6 million children in Afghanistan have been unable to secure food on a daily basis due to a deepening economic crisis in the country, the impact of the Ukraine war, and continuing drought. In a report published on Tuesday, the international NGO called for immediate food assistance to the Save Lives in the short term, adding, however, that aid alone was not enough to tackle the country's worst hunger crisis on record. It also added that despite a significant amount of food aid reaching families in recent months, 19.7 million children and adults, almost 50% of the population, are still going hungry and need urgent support to survive. According to the report, about 20,000 people were pushed into famine during the past 2 or 3 months alone. Following the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan on August 15, the aid-dependent country was cut off from international financial institutions, while nearly $10 billion of its assets were frozen by the U.S., triggering a banking crisis. Let's move to the reminders of tonight's headlines. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. Meeting of PFDJ organizations in Germany. North Korea fires ballistic missiles after confirming first COVID cases. Nearly 10 million children going hungry in Afghanistan, says NGO. That was all for tonight. Thanks for watching and have a good night.